I love that movie and I want to go see it a third time. But at the same time, I had problems with it. I'll talk about the problems all day. It doesn't affect the fact I loved it.
Do you have any different impressions or deepening thoughts? I haven't seen it a second time yet. I'm hoping to, like,
Oh,
this week.
not really. I have read other people's takes, including our own followers. Hey guys, again, thanks a lot for all the you guys are giving us your opinions, just like we asked for, and a lot of you guys agree. But there were also plenty of people going like, I'm a lifelong Superman fan, and I had no problem with the Krypton
Yeah,
reversal or the,
yeah,
and I do get it. And even John's like going, yes, I know that canonically in the comics, except for a few places here and there, Krypton's always been this thing, but for storytelling purposes, and I do get it. It's not that I don't think that James Gunn did not know the implications of what he was doing. And I certainly know he knows all the varieties of how we've seen Jor-El and Lara. It was his choice. He was making a point. And everyone's very well stated reason why it worked for them, I totally get it. And I'm like, great. I'm glad it didn't throw you. And it only threw me just for like, I wish that wasn't the case. But did I bounce back for the rest of the movie? Yes. It's just like when I'm watching Superman the movie and I sit there going, I kind of wish we didn't have Otis's theme and do 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 do. I mean, I kind of wish there wasn't that goofiness in Superman the movie because it's almost transcendent, but it does bring us down occasionally into goofiness. And I'm like, oh, dude, the whole thing about this woman needs chest compressions, that kind of stuff. You're like going,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Jesus.
yeah,
So I worship Superman the movie. It's a warts and all kind of thing where
yeah.
I don't think Superman the movie's perfect. I don't,
It's not.
but I worship it.
Yeah,
It gives me the right core, as does Superman. James Gunn Superman has the core right. And I can live, I suppose, with what they've done with Jor-El and Lara. And we still don't have a real resolution on that because we do need to see what Kara's take on Krypton
yeah,
is.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, and he said in both of these big interviews, he's given a bunch of them recently, but the two ones that are most revealing that I've seen are the one with Josh Horowitz, which is on YouTube, which is
yeah,
great, but also the Rolling Stone interview, which I sent you, which is
yeah,
also really great. And so there's a lot of really fun little tidbits in these interviews. One of which, in both interviews, he puts to rest what I was trying to argue last time. It's like, but there's still a chance they could be good. Maybe there's a thing that can
yeah.
happen
It's
later.
like
And
that could have still been messed with.
he literally said in Rolling Stones, like, they're shit out of luck. Anybody who thinks what I was arguing. It's like, okay, all right, that's fine. But he also said in that same interview, in reference to Supergirl, saying, because the interviewer asked him what you were just suggesting
Yeah,
or wondering about, what does Supergirl know about this? Wouldn't he want to talk to her about that? He says, well, you're assuming that everyone on Krypton has the same opinions. Interesting.
sure.
Also, he said, and this to me raises some interesting questions about her possible backstory in this version of her. That he says, well, she wasn't around, so how would she know? And she's younger than him. It seems like me it's a different telling that maybe she was literally born after him in this version, like maybe on Argo City after the destruction of Krypton.
Which is the original. It was later
Okay.
writers that had the very cool idea that weirdly she had babysat him because she was the older cousin,
Yeah.
but by the fact that she gets launched differently and later and she's in suspended animation or whatever, that she ends up and she seems to be the younger cousin. That's all retro. I mean, that's later.
That's what they did in the TV series too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the original thing is, yeah, she's his kid cousin.
Okay.
But she spent all that time in Argo City, which survived for so long that I guess Zor-El, her father, and her mom's name, who I've forgotten. Oh no, I can't remember her name.
Oh
But anyway,
no.
I know I feel so bad as a Superman fan. I should know Supergirl's mom's name. Anyway, but I suppose that they they were able to get pregos while Argo City's floating around,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
have an old dude walk around going squirt. So we'll see. We'll see. Or maybe the Argo City's not a thing. What if? I mean, there's all kinds of things they could do.
Right.
And he says she doesn't even know. So it could be. What if she's been bounced planet to planet? What if like it wasn't a direct shot to Earth like Kal-El? What if she was an orphan in the stars and literally grew up on different worlds before she found out about Earth and then was like, oh my God, my cousin's there. That's where he was sent.
Yeah.
We don't know what they're going to do with it. We'll find out.
Yeah. And the similarity between the costumes is interesting to me too, because
Hmm.
in the original origin that you were just mentioning, her parents deliberately make her suit look like
Yes,
Superman.
because they had like the ability, which also Silver Age Jor-El and Lara did, that they could like
Yeah,
view Earth. They could watch
yeah,
stuff. Do you remember in Man of Steel, the Byrne reboot? That it was similar. Like Jor-El goes, I did find a world. It's a little primitive, but he would live just fine there. And on screen is like this farmer in a field without a shirt on.
yeah. And Lara's
And
like, "Oh my god,
because he made their Krypton so aesthetically cold, and they're fully wrapped in clothing and only their faces are bare. And so yeah, like Lara's reaction is like, oh my god, they're primitives. Like,
yeah,
look at the hair on his chest.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
so we don't know. But I
yeah,
always love the idea that they could just tune in a TV show and go, look, there's Earth. That's
yeah."
and that little Kara was able to watch her cousin being Superman before she ever went to Earth. And they're like, we're going to give you a costume just like his.
Yeah. So there's some interesting ideas here. Like, what did Zor-El? If we learn anything about Zor-El, did
Mm-hmm.
he have different views? Where maybe he was estranged from Jor-El because of different political views they had, or social.
Again, I that ranks against me, but it probably has no bearing on this universe. It feels wrong that Jor-El would be this dick. I will accept it, Mr. Gunn.
Yeah. Also, Gunn he adds, and this could be a hint to something maybe where the overall story is going eventually. He says, "Well, I don't." He says he doesn't think of Jor-El and Laura as being altogether evil. It's just that they think of Earthlings as like sea turtles, basically, is what he said. And
Yes,
they're
yeah. That's his thought. And I will say this in response to that, because other people are definitely they're hopping on that. Like, well, they're from a superior, people, and he's going to a primitive world. So they're basically saying, like, you're not going to have our tech and stuff to lean on. We're going to give you a little bit of stuff, but you're going to have all these powers. So you will be the last son of Krypton, and it's up to you to sort of proliferate and make more of us, even though they won't be pure Kryptonian, they'll be part Kryptonian, whatever. I get that. It's still kind of gross. What I always say is that for me, and John's point, other people's points are like, why do both sets of parents have to be saintly good people? And I sit there going like, well, if you look at the story of Moses, which Superman is kind of a lift from the story of
Mhm.
Moses because he's created by a couple of Jewish kids. Plus, there's a lot of Christ imagery in there, but still, you know, Moses' Jewish mother gives him up. She doesn't want to, but to save his life, she sends him down the river in the little boat. Pharaoh's daughter is not evil either, even though there are Jewish slaves under Pharaoh. She takes care of that baby as her own and loves it. So, in other words, two loving sets of parents. It doesn't have to be that one is like I don't want to be them, but I'll be like them. I think that's really sadly what James Gunn's made it. It's like he got out of a terrible fascistic society and now he's with all these wonderful, good middle Americans. And I'm like,
Well,
okay.
well, there is that's the thing I was mentioning is that this is going to be me again going, but because he
Yes, yes,
does say in
please.
the interview, he says you're assuming that everyone in Krypton has the same views, and
No, I
so
know,
I
I
think
know.
he's suggesting that isn't the case. I think that it's a little more
To
nuanced
me,
than
the core of Jor-El and Lara sending their child off to Earth has nothing to do. This is where the real division is. His version is they're seeing their son, and it is maybe just Jor-El and Lara, but they're seeing their son as not a representative of them as parents, but of their entire world to carry the burden
that.
of all Krypton with you.
Yeah. Hmm.
Whereas classically, and the way I feel, it has nothing to do with the continuance of Krypton. It is, we love our son and we're all doomed. I want our son to live. It has nothing to do with their society, their technology,
Right.
their philosophy. It's just we love him. And if he
Hmm.
stays with us, he will die. So
Hmm.
we don't know what's going to happen to him on Earth. We hope good people find him. It's
Hmm.
just about the continuance of his life because we are his parents and we want him to live and be happy. So I see it that way. And I don't see it as you are the vessel that carries Krypton with you. It is, you're our son. Please live.
Yeah.
That's all I see it as. And it makes it a little, again, philosophically heavier to be like, hey, you're one of our advanced people. Go down to those dirt dwellers and teach them all about how cool we is. Look at our robots.
Yeah.
They have names.
It did. And this is, I'm probably not alone in this too, that one of the reasons why that disappointed me when I watched the movie was because that opening scene where he's being healed and we get to see what wasn't in the sneak peek scene that we saw before with Jor-El and Lara talking to him in that message.
Yeah.
And he's critically injured as the robots are getting him in place. And he's sitting there, mouthing along to the words that they're saying.
He has memorized that.
I'm already tearing up watching this. I'm like, and then later to find out, that message that he held close to his heart, it turns out that he has to reject it. He has
to reject it. He has to recontextualize it.
That hurt me just as much as it hurt. But I guess that's what Gunn was going for. He wanted us to feel the pain.
That was what James Gunn wanted. He wanted it to be a full embrace. And even John Byrne went there a little bit. In the 86 reboot, Man of Steel, he had it to where Clark doesn't find out anything about Krypton or his heritage till he hits puberty and the powers start to show up. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't start off as a super baby at all. And it's only then that Mom and Pa are like, yeah, I guess he should know. And they take him and show him the rocket. And the rocket is totally defunct. And only when he touches it does Jor-El's hologram show up, speaking a language that he doesn't understand until he does hit it and it translates it. And then he finds out he's an alien. Then he finds out he's got powers. Then he finds out about Krypton. And the big thing about the end of the 6-issue Man of Steel reboot miniseries is he basically is him standing like on a mountaintop in the suit. And he goes, I am proud to be, a Kryptonian. I've learned about my alien heritage. It's awesome. But I am an American. I'm an Earthman. I grew up in Kansas. So John Byrne's mission statement was to say he doesn't see himself as an alien. He has only seen himself as the kid who grew up and went to Smallville High. Mm-hmm. I like that. I got no problem with that. It's just that the idea that we have to keep making Krypton this separate alien thing and they keep harping on that's the division. And I go, the whole point of Krypton is it's exactly like Earth, but just more advanced, and an Earth that gets so caught up in its own pride and belief in its own infallibility. It's a cautionary tale for Earth. So if you make them this incredibly alien species, that guy outside agrees.
He's had enough. Yeah.
He's like, I'm driving away from this conversation. But I mean, that's my take on it. I honestly, I'm accepting of James Gunn's take because everything else was so great. So I'm like, okay, honestly, Jor-El and Lara don't have a huge part to play if you just continue into Superman's universe, unless you do make it constantly about him fighting his Kryptonian self and then blah, blah. When Brainiac shows up, I bet it does become an issue.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And I think, and that's what I mentioned to you a few days ago. It's going to be kind of interesting if we do get to the bottled city Kandor, and is he really even going to want to talk to him? It's going to be kind of cool, like going, I don't want to talk to them.
But I mean, if the Bottle City exists, or at least that if he owned it already, which he may rescue it from Brainiac. So let's say there isn't one yet.
Right.
Rescues it from Brainiac. Yeah, at that point. But if it was already in the fortress, he would have talked to them a long time ago.
I don't think.
I got half a message from my folks. Do you know what the rest of it was? Yeah. Was it also about how good everything is and how I'm beloved?
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure we don't have one yet.
Am I supposed to have sex with lots of Earth women?
Can we talk about that part for a second?
Will you back up and just repeat that part about I'm supposed to be bedding down like a lot?
But I have no problem with.
I do like, we've said this. I mean, we're treading ground here, same ground, but I do like that James Gunn managed to give us a very pure Superman who is, by his own world standards, cheesy. He is this altruistic good guy. And like some people hate the line, and I loved it. It's like, well, maybe that is punk rock. I'm like, I get it. And that's the point. I like that point. And some people are going, that's the cheesiest motherfucking shit ever. But I like the idea that he has created that version of Superman, but it's still perhaps the most mature version of Superman because we step into a relationship that it feels very real with him and Lois. That's not the G shucks Christopher Reeves. I mean, I'm sure that if they, with the Reeves movies, if they had decided that they're going to jump ahead in the relationship and they're really together, those two
Yeah.
actors would have pulled it off great. Obviously.
Yes. We never got to see that.
We
Yeah.
never got to see that. It was still the ducking around the identity. And with this, James Gunn goes, no, they like probably within 3 months,
Yeah.
it's like she knows they're dating and they're dealing with it. And I already love it.
Yeah.
And who knows? He may have been, he may have already gotten there with Lana Lang. I'm just saying, I mean, it could have happened. So it's not like super virgin, which is what a lot of people always sort of characterize him as. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I think in high school he's probably getting there.
So I do
Good-looking
think
kid. Good looking guy.
clearly all throughout this movie there were very really obvious nods to the Donner film. Starting with the crystals at the fortress and all that stuff, and the music, obviously. But that the thing about him saying "oh golly" and "gosh" and of course makes me think of him saying, "oh, it's all together." I think it was kind of swell.
Yeah,
Swell.
Yeah, swell. There's not a lot of people feel comfortable saying that word.
On the whole, I'd say it's been swell.
Swell?
Yeah.
It's so great. And the way it literally stops her, like she's like, I'm sorry, what did I just hear?
What?
The way they play it, perfect.
One of the best lines in the movie is like, "I always thought it sounded kind of natural."
Yeah. Oh my God. By the way, I still love up.
Yeah.
The guy in the elevator. You just see the hand come out. Clark Kent is the biggest goober in the world.
That is classic Donner humor. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that occurred to me when you were talking about Jor-El, there is an interesting opening here because one of my favorite characters from that post-crisis run of Superman was Dr. Emil Hamilton.
Yeah.
Right. Who was Superman's buddy.
Yeah.
But who he didn't know his secret identity, did he?
Maybe later. That's a good question.
And so this is a very inside baseball kind of aspect of his canon, but it would be, and this movie didn't get into this at all, like this kind of stuff, this kind of nerdiness.
No mention of Star Labs, as far as I know.
Yeah, but I mean, that was a fun thing about that. The interplay those two characters had in those comics back then was that Superman was basically allowing Dr. Hamilton to kind of study him,
to study
figure out how his powers worked, and it kind of helped Superman too figure out, oh, this is how this works. Okay,
yeah,
cool. And so it'd be kind of cool if we do have that, because in this canon, it looks like Kal-El has a lot of Kryptonian technology at his disposal, looks like, but he may not have all the knowledge.
He's still figuring some stuff out, but we have missed, obviously, we've missed his first introduction to kryptonite. And apparently we've missed the obliteration of most of the world's resources of kryptonite, as they say at one point in the movie.
There's nothing.
It's like there's nothing left on Earth.
Yeah.
And we know from that junior novelization that apparently, he's already met Metallo and probably also figured out that Lex Luthor was behind Metallo. But I still love the idea that in this movie, I know these are little things. I love that it's their first meeting, even though he already clearly hates him and knows that he's no good to Lex Luthor, and Luthor's been plotting his demise all along in the background. But it's their first meeting. Also, I love that it was Lois and Ma and Pa's first meeting. I love that she's taking him off the T-ship, and it's like, I'm Martha, this is John. She goes, Lois. While they're pulling down injured Superman. I'm just like, oh man, that just gets me in the heart. I just love it. It's like, hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm dating your son. Yeah, hey, how's it going? So we got some origin-y things without it being the origin movie. So I love that aspect.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that he already helped out with the Justice Gang. Did you see the release? The official release by the Justice Gang regarding the death of President, what's his name, from Baravia?
Oh, did put a little
James Gunn on his Twitter has said, here's the official press release from the Justice Gang. And it's on the letterhead, and it's all about, we are addressing public concerns about Hawkgirl's actions with the president of Baravia. And it's like going, we understand that that a lot of people, it's like, however, this man was a known threat and was threatening the lives of thousands of people. And it's like, we understand that sometimes these drastic measures, it's literally just done straight. like, we're sorry that Hawk Girl dropped that guy to his death. I was like, James, I love the fact that you're still coming up with little bits. The movie's
Yeah.
already out, but it's like,
It
I
makes
love
it feel
that.
like it's like
World
the
building.
universe is unfolding in real time, even as we're
Yeah.
not watching the movie.
Yes.
You know, that's kind of cool.
And it makes me want Peacemaker season 2 to come out even more
Yeah, I
because,
can't
I
wait.
mean, it won't tie in entirely, but there will be commentary on
No, he said
Superman.
it says it's a direct follow up from that story in some way. It's a continuation of that story. So another fun thing that was said in the Josh Horowitz interview is Josh asked him. So it seems like Ultraman was like kind of like could almost like been of a Bizarro character, and James goes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ultraman I could have seen a version where that's Bizarro, literally Bizarro Superman.
Right, exactly.
And so are we going to get more Bizarro? And he's like, well, I can't say that
To me,
much.
that just felt like we were seeing the setup, and that maybe it pays off down the line because I'm sorry, it's like comics. You get zapped into a black hole or a pocket dimension, you're not dead. We'll see you again eventually if there's room.
Yeah.
And will he come back white and crystalline or chalky and talking backwards? I'm there for it. That's all I want.
People were pointing out that when Ultraman was getting sucked into that black hole, all these little the bricks from that weird pocket dimension were going in there with him. It's like,
like it could fuse to his body. Wow,
well,
I didn't even think
maybe that, or that's the building blocks that he uses to
build
his weird Bizarro version of Metropolis.
His square planet. Come on.
Yeah.
James Gunn is the one guy. I mean, I know he's not doing the future Superman movies, but of anyone who would greenlight some filmmaker come out going, I kind of really do want to go to Bizarro World, he'd be like, great. Are they going to have the big badges that says Bizarro #1, Lois #1? Is it going to be like that? Because I'm all for it.
So I think what I got from that is that yes, that was a deliberate Bizarro setup.
I think there's no doubt about it.
But what he's going to do with the character yet, he hasn't figured out yet, because he kind of says like, you're not allowed to say. He's like, I think it's more like, I don't know what I'm doing yet. But
I think that's probably true because he is overseeing what comes next, but he, at least at this point, doesn't want to write and direct the next Superman. He just wanted to get the ball rolling, and I'm sure he has passion projects of his own that he'll get to. But I like the fact, like with Kevin Feige, he's sitting on top of the whole thing, and I think he's the kind of architect who would not dismiss someone coming up with like a weird ass idea, because to him, he gets the comic thing. And Kevin Feige does too. So if someone came up and said, yeah, I kind of want to do the full on Earth 3, I want to have the crime syndicate, I want to have the actual Ultraman, and I want to have Power Girl and Power Ring or whatever their names are. I want to have those guys, the evil doppelgangers. And I'm sure James Gunn's like, bring it, as long as the script's good. That's his big thing. Is like, I don't go forward if the script's not good.
Do you think, since we already have a Hall of Justice in this DCU, do you think we're going to get the Legion of Doom?
Oh my God, man! If they do that, Jesus God, I love the fact that we're still early days. Justice Gang's been around. They probably individually. Plus, we've already had, we assume, Hal Jordan's been zooming around and is already kind of not retired, but he's not the main Green Lantern. Yeah. And so Guy Gardner's probably only been around like a few years, and Hawk Girl seems really new. Mr. Terrific's probably been around for a while, but as a group, like a year maybe, even that. And they're just, because I love, you see them building the outside of the Hall of Justice. It's like it's just now getting put together, which means I think it is about the recruitment drive. I think that's why that bit is in Peacemaker, and we're going to be building the Justice League out of this. And I love it.
What was interesting too is that regarding the Justice Society mural that's inside the Hall of Justice, Gunn himself he didn't remember exactly who was on the mural.
The only one I caught in both viewings, because the second viewing I was like, I'm ready, because now I know it's there. I know what scene it's in, and I'm looking, and I still only caught Wildcat. My eyes went to the same character that I caught the last time.
Because some people swear that they saw Jay Garrick. That's what Josh Horowitz mentioned.
Yes, Jay Garrick.
Gunn was like, "Is Jay Garrick in it? I don't know." Like, he wasn't sure. Like, come on.
I wonder if there was a list where he's like going, you can put these guys in there. But I don't remember all the ones that they spotted.
Uh,
Speaking of Wildcat, here he is.
oh, hello, Wildcat. How you doing?
I'm gonna punch you.
Back it up, boy. Back it up.
I'm sorry. Anyway,
He almost threw the Rock under the bus in the Rolling Stone interview.
I
Or
like
maybe
the
it was
way
a Josh Horowitz, and I can't remember which one it was. But
he
yeah.
does it very. I think the guy's pretty smooth with how he handles this stuff because he doesn't go with a name, and he actually just says some people. He kind of says there were some people that were really forcing our hand with some things.
Yeah.
But it's not that he didn't say this before, it's just people aren't listening. Like back when it was happening, he goes, the hardest thing was to tell Henry
Yeah.
we're going with somebody else because he's a great guy. He's a great actor. And I can't remember which interview, Rolling Stone or Josh Horowitz, where they go, could you see Henry in the DCU at any point? He goes, as somebody else? He goes, absolutely. What an amazing actor.
We talked about it on the day. He said we talked about it.
We talked about it on the day.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not even finding. It's sort of like Jason Momoa they put him in the wrong slot to begin with, because even Jason Momoa at the very beginning, you look at that guy going, Lobo.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go Arthur Curry, Aquaman. You look at the guy and immediately you think Lobo, but they gave him the right slot. So yay. That which shows they're not above. It's like if these people want to be in our DCU and we find a good place for them, they have no political reason not to put them in these movies. No, those interviews are great. And I think it is a talent. I think that showrunners, producers, and even in his case, where he's overseeing an entire studio, essentially, it's a talent to just handle the press side of it, handle tweets and random comments from people. And I think James Gunn does it better than almost anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Not even Kevin Feige just randomly responds to like Joe Blow's tweet where someone just says, I wonder if James Gunn has considered this. And just out of the blue, James Gunn responds to Chucklesmith 38 in, Wisconsin and goes, yeah, I have thought about that. I don't think that's how we're going to go. And you're like,
right.
Why is he where does he find the time, to kind of like maybe search for his name and go, what is that guy saying?
Yeah.
He says something about the red trunks.
Well, he said
red trunks tweet.
He said that it's usually when he's traveling, like it'll be like he's sitting waiting for a plane to board, or he's in flight sometimes. And he said you can always tell because they'll come in these waves. They'll be like 10, 15 responses that'll just.
I just think he's really good at it, and he's truthful when he can be, and he even says like, "There's so much I want to say about this. Here's what I can say." Mm-hmm. And you're just like, I don't want to be James Gunn because I like being me and I like him being him, but I do kind of want access to I want to see the files in his head. I kind of want to sneak into his computer just to see the roadmap, which I'm sure is pretty messy. And I'm sure it's not nearly as organized as we think it is. But I love that whole thing about the press went wild with, he's fast tracking Wonder Woman. Yeah. And then he responds, he goes, not fast tracking. It's like, it's in good shape and it's definitely high priority.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's all I need, James.
Well, it was just another condition. I mean, it was another situation where the script was good. So he was like, yeah, let's go.
That's right. And I don't know what the movie that he shot down was.
Yeah. He hasn't said, I guess.
Yeah. There's one that he says like, it was very close. Everyone was happy with it, but, and it was greenlit, but the script wasn't there.
But he did say, I was happy to hear this, that Sergeant Rock got kind of sidelined, but he hasn't given up hope on it yet. He's really excited about it.
I think that has less to do with script than it does with the casting. And that was because they kept having people back out. And now it does appear to be Colin Farrell. Interesting choice. Yeah. I do got to say, when it was going to be Daniel Craig, he looks the part. And I was like, oh, and plus he's a great actor. But I was like, we're not going to get him. Damn, he looks like Sergeant Rock.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that he's building a universe where just because the projects are ready, that it's like Superman, Supergirl, Clayface.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited if it's as good as he says it is. I can't wait. Yeah. But it doesn't feel, because even Feige was like, shit, Iron Man's a hit. Hulk, Thor, Captain America. It's like boom, 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 big names. And yet James Gunn's like going, I like the Creature Commandos. They're really neat. You know what? I think Starman's good, but not the cool one from the 90s, the one from the 80s that had the mullet. That's the Starman we're going to put on screen. Why am I doing that voice for James Gunn? Hey, everybody. I've thought about lanterns and I don't want it. I decided it's not any good. Shutting it down. Actually, I'm very excited for lanterns. Very
I am
excited.
too, man. And the more I hear about that,
Yeah.
I've heard it's going to be a darker tone show.
That it's like a murder mystery with a couple of
Yeah.
Green Lanterns walking around in plain clothes. I assume we'll get some costumes at some point, or else I'm storming the gates.
He's also led us to believe that there's actually going to be a lot more of the Justice Gang in Peacemaker season 2 than we thought. Like it, you know.
Really, I thought it was just kind of that cameo thing.
Well, he keeps saying, "Oh yeah, they're in it." You know, he doesn't really. He seems to be. You know, if it was just that one opening scene, I think maybe he would be downplaying expectations. But it doesn't. I don't know. I just kind of. I could be wrong.
The whole plot's, you know, dealing with alternate universes, and it's a multiverse story. So, you know, it could be like, oh yeah, they're in it. Oh, but it's the evil versions, because literally, I think Peacemaker fights an evil him, and his dad is alive in the other universe, which is why you're seeing him in the trailer.
Yeah,
I have no idea, but I know I'll enjoy it just simply because so far he has not let me down. There are things, again, I still think I didn't like Adam Warlock. I was like, you kind of blew it with Adam Warlock in Guardians 3 because I don't think you care that much about the character. I think with characters he doesn't feel too much towards, he feels okay with mocking them. Like Vigilante in Peacemaker.
Yeah.
That's so far from the character from the comics, and it didn't make me like go, fuck this, and turn off the TV, but I was like, oh, that's not him. And if you were like a diehard Vigilante fan, you'd be like, fuck you, James Gunn.
Right. I enjoyed that. I've been rewatching some of those episodes recently, and it's really even more obvious to me now how much of a play on Deadpool that version of Vigilante is.
Yeah,
he's doing.
And again, if you were a huge Judo Master fan,
yeah, sorry.
What version is this? James Gunn doesn't do everything the way I want, but James Gunn seems to know the world of the comics better than almost any filmmaker. Feige admits that when he came in, wasn't a comics fan. It's just something that he grew to understand and saw the potential of, like, why don't we just use these as our blueprints? Why do we hire writers to not nail that universe and the characters and their backstories? Let's find people who know them. What a concept.
Yeah.
Let's not hire Akiva Goldsman for the 80th time to write a superhero movie with him just sitting there going like, then Batman goes, I've got my back credit card. Oh, Batman.
Speaking of Feige, is there anything you wanted to mention from that article you sent me?
He just covered a lot of ground. But he's saying that this phase, which is the Doomsday, Secret Wars, all that, is not only bringing the Fantastic Four and the X-Men into the MCU proper, but he's using it as, and he goes, I don't like the term reboot. He goes, it's a little too scary, but it's a reset button. I assume that means probably in Secret Wars, it will be a thing where the universe resets. And it's his way of saying, yeah, there might be some legacy actors. Like Hugh Jackman will probably still show up as Wolverine during these movies. But afterwards, the MCU reality, he goes, we're recasting everybody. He's like, we're going to recast the X-Men. We'll have new actors in there. We're probably going to keep our Fantastic Four because they just showed up. But he's talking about possibly we're going to get a new Tony Stark and a new Steve Rogers, which means the Marvel Cinematic Universe may go back to like square one and it just reboots. That's what he's hinting at. And I thought it was pretty clear because John and I talk about the Kevin Feige thing, and he's kind of indicated like, yeah, after these are done, I'm kind of out. And they asked him, they're like, are you going to bow out? Is this your, swan song? And he said, he goes, weirdly, it just, if it keeps being this fun and we just keep going, and he goes, I don't really, he goes, maybe I'll be sharing the burden more. Maybe I get, assistance. He goes, I don't really see a reason to leave, which I think that's him contradicting himself, because I think he did go public a little while back, maybe last year or something, going like, yeah, I think after these movies, I can give Marvel Studios off to someone else. Now he's
Yeah.
indicating, I'm sticking around.
I wonder how much the advent of Gunn's DCU has anything to do with maybe possibly rejuvenating his enthusiasm for the whole thing.
It's either the enthusiasm or they just back the truck up, the money
Yeah.
truck. I mean, it could just be Disney going like, how much do you need to stick around?
Yeah.
It's like, do you want your great-great-grandchildren's college paid for? Yes, please. Would you like an entire town in New England named after you that will be your place and you're the mayor? Okay. I don't know why you'd want to be the mayor.
But I do think it's going to bode well that you've got now DC and Marvel are finally in a position to actually compete directly with each other and not have it be this off-kilter thing.
There is this is fan speculation. Don't take this as anything other. But in the comics, DC and Marvel are about to release their first crossovers in decades.
Yeah.
Which we never thought was ever going to happen again. Because again, corporate, that kind of nonsense, that's a tangled web. The creatives always want to do it. I just want to go on record saying, if you're a writer or artist for DC or Marvel, you always dream of doing the other company's characters or, teaming up. It's always the parent companies that are like, our IPs can't cross. We share the money. We don't get enough money. But apparently they worked something out. So we're about to get some new crossovers, and there's the hint that people are going, these movies are not winding down. And if they're smart and they can work out a deal, what if they fucking do a JLA Avengers, but for film? Mm-hmm. At which point, I'm going to be honest, my scrotum will explode. And not out of a sexual thing at all. It's just that whatever pressure will build up in my body will cause my gentlest areas to pop like balloons, because it's too much. I will not have a cerebral embolism. I will have a testicular embolism where it's just like, at the beginning of the Regal Cinemas where you go on that roller coaster and there's that one last popcorn and it goes out really loud. People will turn and they will look at me and I'll go, no, those are my balls. I just can't imagine a world in which I'm watching a movie that has Superman and Captain America sharing a screen, Batman, and Spider-Man. I'm just like, what dream am I having right now? Oh,
this reminds me of something you tried, a running joke, one of your jokes back in the early 90s. You tried to start a thing of people saying gones instead of nads. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that at all.
There's what is all this emphasis on the second syllable of gonads? Why can't we give some love to the first syllable? Gones.
Dude, I felt that movie in my gones.
Yeah.
It rhymes with Jones.
That's right.
Hello, my name is Brendan Gones. And no, I don't want to start that. You guys don't start that. Chad, edit this out, because if that goes viral and I'm now known as Brendan Gones, I don't think my family will ever talk to me again. But I gotta say, that is rampant fan speculation that the door is open to possible cinematic crossovers, because literally it's just like, hi, Warner Brothers, hello, Disney. They've done it before. It's rare. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Possibly the last time they ever did one of those, where it's like, yeah, Mickey can meet Bugs Bunny, but they have to have exactly the same amount of screen time. Literally, that's how the kind of contracts they had to work up. So if they do something like that, it'll be so good. Or it could be terrible. It could be us watching going like, Jesus, this is enough. Anyway, Superman was great. And the box office has been strong. However, it hasn't taken off worldwide. You see Mr. Gunn talk about that?
No. What did he say?
He basically said, and again, I think it's I like the fact that he kind of he doesn't obfuscate and he doesn't try to hide behind corporate smile. Like, he just said, I think the rest of the world is kind of not anti-American. It's just that I think that there's a lot of folks are kind of down on this country, and they're equating this movie with that. Because Superman is like the American superhero if you're not Captain America. And so he goes, I think that the world is looking so down on America because of the mess we're in that they don't want to go and see a pro. And the movie's not, well, it is pro America, but it's really pro Superman. And so he goes, I think that's affecting the box office. And actually, that makes sense to me.
It was interesting to me to see that a lot of the like negative reviews, especially right off the bat too, and I was watching the reviews come in, were the British, like the British critics don't like this movie on average. It's so weird to me, but a lot of them seem to be complaining just about the overall goofy, like what they see as the goofiness and silliness of it.
Sure.
And I know that's not going to vibe with everybody.
It is a huge jump from the last cinematic Superman we had. For me, it's
Huge,
a refreshing jump, but I guess they're like, it's, and I have seen plenty of reviews go, it's too James Gunny. Even in my short review where I said if it's a shaggy dog of a movie, it is. It's not perfect, but James Gunn's movies have never been perfect. They tend to have sincerity and heart and humor. And when he wants to zing you and make you cry, you do, because he's a good enough writer. However, there's dialogue choices and scene structure that you wouldn't build a normal superhero movie around. That's why I like James Gunn stuff, is that even in a big corporate, superhero world, and he's done several movies, Marvel and now DC, in these worlds, they still feel like James Gunn movies because he has a voice. Weirdly, isn't that what we should support? Is like, they're not cookie cutter. People that say it's like, it's just another superhero movie, I'm going, they would not talk like this in, it's like if you went over here with Matt Reeves' Batman and people trying to like go, oh, we should have that Robert Pattinson meet this Superman. I'm like going, no, these are not the same worlds. I'm not saying that whatever Batman we get in the James Gunn universe, I don't think it needs to be candy colored and wacky with needle drops and that kind of thing. But it clearly is not going to match the same world of a Matt Reeves thing. So I like idiosyncratic filmmakers, even if they're doing big IP projects. I hated that Lone Ranger with Armie Hammer and Johnny Depp. The most recent one. What's that guy? Is it Michael Bay that did it?
I have no idea.
Or one of the other big blow-uppy guys.
The blow-uppy guys. That was not on my radar.
That's okay. It's terrible. Yeah. But it feels like his Lone Ranger. It's just, it wasn't my Lone Ranger. Gore Verbinski. Yeah, no, not Michael Bay, but another blow-uppy guy.
Blow-uppy guy.
Terrible, that Lone Ranger movie. Anyway, so what else?
There was a rumor that now I'm blanking.
That I'm being eyed as Medusa of the Inhumans. Guys, I know my hair's getting long, but I can't play Medusa. I respectfully decline.
The second guy who played Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a rumor going around that he was being looked at for the role of the Flash as Hal Jordan.
Oh, Andrew Garfield.
Not Hal Jordan. Sorry, as God damn it,
Barry Allen.
Barry fucking Allen, Chad. Okay.
Wow, yes. I didn't know his middle name was fucking.
Yeah.
The Silver Age, they were pretty loose.
And the
it's
Flash.
A pleasure to meet you. I'm police scientist Barry fucking Allen.
He did mention in that interview, one of those interviews, he said that because the interview was trying to corner him on it, like, we're going to get Aquaman and the Flash anytime soon. He says, probably not in the next 2 years. That he's pushing those down the road a little bit.
I
no question it's going to happen.
Here's the thing. I would take him as either, as long as he dyes his hair, because I'm the guy that worries about. I liked Grant Gustin from the TV show. I only watched like the first season of The Flash, and it just kept going and going. And I thought he captured the geeky quality of Barry Allen quite well. But I'm like, yeah, why can't you just dye your hair blonde? He's always been a blonde. Same with Aquaman. I think Andrew Garfield is an amazing actor who can do whatever the fuck he wants. I think he would be a better fit for The Flash. I think physicality, perfect. Totally. Obviously, you get kind of an athletic, lanky guy to be the Flash, just like Spider-Man, even though Spider-Man's doing the thwip and all that. But a runner, you want the runner's physique. But I'd say grab Garfield, because just like Feige did, it's about casting good people. It's
Yeah.
just, and hopefully
And
people that fit the parts, that
this is really early. I mean, we heard so many different names for the role of Reed Richards, for example, that,
Yes.
long before Pedro Pascal his name ever came up. Another fun thing that James hinted at, the interviewer was trying to get something out of him about Batman, which I think every interviewer has done. And he says, "Are we not going to see? Are we not going to see Batman until Brave and the Bold?" And Gunn said, "Well, I wouldn't say that."
I got to imagine.
I think we're going to see him before that.
I mean, I got to imagine, because Clayface is a Batman villain.
Yeah.
Maybe it's one of those cheesy things, just like they did in Creature Commandos, where you see like a silhouette, where at the end of it, it's like a cape and someone shoving a guy into an Arkham Asylum van or something. I mean, that would be a little cheesy. Plus, again, when they finally get around to their Batman and they design the costume, they'd be like, "Oh shit, this is different than the one arm we saw in Clayface." Uh-oh.
Yeah. He did say too, he specifically wanted to squash any thoughts or theories that there was going to be like his version of Batman v Superman coming up next.
Oh,
He said, no, it's not that. It's not Batman v Superman.
But gimme a World's Finest.
Yeah.
And that was the rumor, because he kept saying, like, the next Superman movie won't necessarily be like this. And I'm not sure if it's really even going to be like a Superman movie, which had everyone going like, oh, it's going to be a team up. Could be Superman and Supergirl. It'd be great. Cousins. But maybe it is something like how Jordan and, oh, God.
No. There's so many awesome possibilities.
The possibilities. Now. And at this point, I'll get personal for 1 second. Hi, listeners. Chad knows this. I'm not saying I was ahead of the curve. Certainly not. But I started writing screenplays while I was still in art school. So we're talking late 80s, early 90s. And I wrote some original screenplays, still proud of them, good stuff, I think. But I also started writing scripts for superhero movies, even though I didn't have the rights to them. And my argument was always, in the 90s, I already saw that special effects were coming so far. And I was like, they can start doing things that don't look bad. And I was inspired by the 89 Batman and stuff. And I'm like, they're taking them seriously. So it's only a matter of time. And one of the first ones I wrote was a Green Lantern script. And then I actually wrote a sequel to it because I don't know when to stop. But I wrote these 2 Green Lantern scripts because of all the visual. I didn't want to write a Superman because I was like, I'm a nobody and they're never going to hire me to write a Superman movie, even though he's my favorite character. But I thought, oh my God, the most cinematic of all the superheroes, of the DC heroes, would be Green Lantern, because of his power, because of the way he can form anything. So I was like, oh, I also wrote a Creeper script because a lot of it is in Creeper vision. So it's weird, wacky, surreal stuff. And I was like, that's how you make a superhero movie. You embrace the fact that it's a visual medium. You don't real world it. Why not go to Oa? And when I finally saw that Green Lantern movie, I actually thought some of the visual stuff wasn't bad, even though the main baddie was horrible, just yellow dirt cloud. I was like, oh God, what a terrible choice. But I kept sitting there going like, that's why I feel a little like left behind at the same time as a writer. At the same time, I'm excited as a fan because it is happening, and it's been happening for years now, that I was right. I mean, I started writing a Captain America script in 2009, 2000. No, it wasn't 2000. It was before Iron Man. So it would have been like 2003 or something. Doesn't matter. But I was like, it's coming. It's coming. I knew it was coming. And now it's here. And for the most part, as long as we're not talking about Zack Snyder, sorry, everybody, it's been a feast. Delightful stuff, including Matt Reeves' Batman, including even the least considered the least of the Marvel movies. I've loved it all. That was my rant about, oh, dude, I was too early. I should have been born a little later and had better connections. Should have been better at networking. And on that note, but it's exciting, and I can't wait to see what comes next. We will be here to talk rumors. We will be here to talk about face care products. It's another thing that known for on PSAPs. It's talking about moisturizers that we use.
That's right.
What else are we known for? I'm going to give you some fishing tips. And I'm also going to tell you how to get past some of the more difficult levels of Baldur's Gate 3. Chad keeps threatening that we're going to do an episode by episode rewatch of The Powers of Matthew Starr. And I keep telling him, okay. Anyway.
There's so much stuff we have to get to. I've got this huge backlog of episodes we've already recorded.
Yeah,
which are available right now, actually, in Patreon and in channel memberships.
Oh, nice!
Right now, the raw, unedited versions of them, anyway.
Coming up, I mean, the Superman Returns episode, which is just Chad's been editing it. We did cover that. We are also going to, hopefully next week, this was my idea, talk about the not underappreciated and not forgotten, but you guys, I'm not sure anyone's really talking about Kirk Allen, or George Reeves, so we need to talk about other Superman performers. And eventually we're going to have to watch Man of Steel.
Yeah.
We owe it to the S. We owe it to our buddy Kal-El to talk about the various iterations. So we will eventually do that and watch us squirm and vomit. There's some good stuff, and we'll talk about the good stuff there. Anyway, so we got other stuff coming up, and also, by the way, thank you for all the feedback. And if you have an idea, it doesn't have to be Superman related, though clearly we've become kind of known as the Superman guys, says the guy with like a Hellboy hat and with Captain America's shield behind him. Well, we are known kind of as the Superman guys, but if you guys have another like property that you'd like us to review, talk about, I love forcing Chad to watch things that he didn't like. So you let us know.
It's been a while since that's happened. Yeah,
it actually has.
Yeah.
You want to wrap up?
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think Godzilla versus Kong was the last time. You didn't really force me to watch it. Yeah. Anyway,
it's okay. I mean, it's all right. I will try not to do that again. But every now and then I'm going to make you watch something.
Well, I liked the series. What was that called? Monarch, right?
Yeah. Mainly because Kurt Russell's awesome. Continues to be awesome as an old man. Someday we should do an entire episode just about the adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the 8th dimension.
Oh, God, I was just thinking about that the other day.
One of my all-time favorite movies. And that's not an obscurity. You guys who are nerds, you already are sitting there going like, yes! I imagine that's what you're saying. And I just got the Steelbook Blu-ray special edition of it, which is out of print. And it cost me a lot of money to get it. But it was something I had to have. It's all remastered. It's got extra stuff in it and commentaries and shit. Okay, anyway. On that terrible noise I just made, we're going to say goodnight and goodbye. PSAPs out.
PSAPs out. See you next week. Or no, see you eventually. Not next week. That's the other show I do.